What up? What up, my guys? Welcome to another show, man. It's Friday. It's NBA Talk with Jay. We're trying to make it payday, man. It's NBA Talk with Jay and my guy Shark, man. Go make sure you go follow him on Twitter at Sharks and Sports. What's up with you, my guy? Everything cool with you?
Oh, yeah, taking a breath. I see Jay has another pair of shades. I think we're going to get a pair of shades for every single day of the calendar year. Of course, this is a noteworthy day. It is Free Friday, Happy Hour Hoops, February 25th, 2022. Second game after the All-Star break. Looking to dominate. Jay Money lead the way, and let's get into this card.
Man, let's get into it. It's all business. We're bouncing back today. It's that simple, man. First game up, we're going to the streets of Orlando. You have the Magic versus the Rockets. I don't necessarily agree with the Magic landing this amount of points. I'm not in a hurry to take points with the Rockets here. It's Rockets or nothing for me. Sharks staying off the game. What are we doing?
Yeah. Obviously, when you look at this, and I got to give a shout to some of the guys in the chat for coining the term exotic backwood. And this game, although in Orlando, Florida, is definitely a backwood environment. You got an L7 versus an L4. That is symptomatic of the calendar for both of these teams. Rockets and Magic will be in the top of the lottery and the bottom of the standings. You do get a revenge game here. Orlando did lose very early season, a 118 to 116, a tight one in Houston. They come back in a revenge game on a -4. Line is showing strength to Orlando. Not sure how much that matters. If you want to lay the strong line, go that direction with Orlando. But as they said, Houston should come in here L7. How do you fade an L7 with this team? Tough game to cap, and that's all we got to say here.
Yeah, I know. I'm really just trying to go through every game, guys. In honesty, we shouldn't even be talking about those two teams. Like, there's no strong side to that game either way, man. So you're literally just tossing a coin. Let's go over to the streets of Indiana here. Brogdon in there, Sharks. I was pretty surprised to see that. I didn't see if Lou Dort and the guys were in. I'd be honest, I don't even care. It's just an uninspiring game for me here. I'm not looking to lay the points with the Pacers here. I'm not taking the Thunder here on the back-to-back spot. Do you like something here, Shark?
I think this is going to be a sharp line. Of course, you saw what happened in Oklahoma City. 113-110 Pacers in overtime. That was a 2.5-3 line, basically a push result. You see this come in at 6.5, 7. That is fairly stock, obviously going road to home. And again, you're finding a lot of ambiguity here. You got, as you said, Brogdon coming back, his first time with this group. Does it get any worse than a new group of guys already trying to figure it out? Now you insert a guy that played with the old roster, his first game. And you look at what Oklahoma City has done here on the road against the East. It's been one of their better environments. We've talked about this numerous times. They like to show up at the East for whatever reason, and that is including the top teams and some of these middle ground teams. The line, of course, is razor sharp. You might lean Thunder here. Nothing official, though.
Yeah, I'm with you that there. I'm not looking to take this team, especially that first game back-to-back from the All-Star. You could argue that they're a little bit more, they've more shooken off the rust or whatever, but I'm not laying 7 with the Pacers. It's really simple. This is a simple game for me. Pass for me. Let's go over here to the streets of Charlotte here, Shark. We got the Hornets getting 2 points from the Raptors. We did see that OG is out for this game, but they've owned the Hornets twice already this year, and you see it. Defensive teams can own this team. Why? The Hornets don't play a lick of defense. They're all offense. If there's a team that comes in there and stifles their offense, they don't know what to do and kind of just look down on themselves. So Raptors are nothing for me, but do you think that the Hornets could get some double revenge here, Shark?
This is the problem in this game. You want to take a double revenge spot. Charlotte has been lackluster, but we talk about this all the time. Charlotte was just way too hot for about 35, 40 games. Exactly. They're coming down to where they should have been all along. And I think this idea they're going to auto bounce back is fool's gold. Of course, Toronto, we talk about this all the time. Last 20 games at these Eastern opponents, doesn't matter who it is, generally very sharp on the number. This is a Toronto number. Charlotte did lay 1.5 in Toronto early season and get hammered. Then it came back to Charlotte, and the line moved towards Toronto. Toronto was a road favorite after being a home dog, and they did hammer them again. Now this comes up, same number by a hook over that, actually. The line is telling you a Toronto story here. And again, I think just this idea that the Hornets need to win a game off an L3 is fool's gold. I would lay 2 with Toronto here before I took the 2 here with Charlotte.
Simple. Better against really good defensive teams. The Hornets, they don't like to see that. They want to go up against a bad defensive team that'll run and gun with them. The Raptors can shut them down if they want to, guys. But it's Raptors and them for me. It stayed off of it. Shark. Let's go over here to the Spurs versus Wizards game, man. We got the Wizards here getting 3.5 points from the Spurs here, man. You got the Wizkids at the house. This team is in a mess right now, Shark. And I don't know about you, but I trust the Spurs more coming off the long layoff rather than the Wizards, where obviously they hadn't been greatly coached this year, my guy. What you liking here?
Well, on a suddenly not so casual Free Friday, February 25th, 2022, the buy hat is engaged. 2 plays, first quarter -1 Spurs and game -3.5. A lot going on here. You go through the calendar. The Spurs have won 3 in a row dating back to last year against Washington. They did hammer them 116-99 early season in San Antonio. That's the first point on this game. The Spurs play basically the same game twice against all the Eastern teams. Blowout, home Orlando, road Orlando, blowout. Outright win and cover home Boston, outright win and cover Boston. Shelled by the Knicks at home, shelled by the Knicks road. Non-cover Philly home, non-cover Philly road, 2 losses to the Nets. They just play the same game. And you really look at what Washington is doing here since January 1st. Absolutely awful at home against the West, all West. They got hammered against Phoenix, which we had correctly. They got hammered against Sacramento, which we had correctly. They lost outright to Portland. They got lost outright to Houston. They didn't cover against the Thunder. And I draw you back to that game against Phoenix, which we had correctly, a blowout win. That was home game 1 off a road win against the Sixers. Washington comes in here, home game 1, off a break and a win at the Nets, a very emphatic win and a first half cover. This is where the Spurs just like to ball. Everybody knows this. They love to come out and juice it up in the first quarter. This is really a box checker across all points. Final point, the number is all over the Spurs. +3 at home, 3.5 favorite road. Books are telling you a story here. Washington is in crater mode. Spurs want to turn up in this environment. -3.5 official. First quarter, -1 also official.
Yeah, they should smack them up here, Shark. They've been doing well, especially versus the Wizards as well. 23-7 against the spread last 30 meetings, and 10-4 against the spread last 14 in Washington. Wizards also 0-5 against the spread last 5 as a home dog, man. So the Spurs, they've been covering these spots as well. They beat up on losing teams, 6-0-1 against the spread last 7 versus losing teams here. So, and that's what the Wizards are, man. They're, like you said, they're in free fall. The Spurs on their way up, trying to play for a play-in tournament. If you want to make the play-in, this is one of their winnable games here. So I like the Spurs here as well with you, my guy. Let's cash it. Let's go over here to the next game here. We got this. We're going to the streets of New York, Shark. You got the Knicks team that's an absolute mess, right? The only way I can look here is the Heat. But they do have a game tomorrow. I believe they play the Spurs tomorrow, but at the house. But it's the only way I can look is the Heat here. And historically, they play well up there in New York and Madison Square Garden as well. We know that the Knicks are, like I said, they're just in free fall right now. I won't be betting on this team for a while, especially not a top-notch team like the Heat here, Shark.
Yeah, I mean, you talk about moving parts on a roster like we just discussed with Indiana. The Knicks obviously didn't make any big trades, much to the chagrin of Knicks Twitter. But they are moving guys all around. Of course, Derrick Rose today announced out indefinitely, done for the year. Who knows if he'll ever play a game for the Knicks ever again. Unfortunately, he could definitely move on after the year. Kemba Walker, sit down ×2. He's back on the bench. He'll never play another game for the Knicks. And again, I don't think anybody really knows what the Knicks are doing. Of course, RJ Barrett hurt. All these young guys, some fringe 28 to 30-year-old guys, got Alex Burke. It's all over the grid. This is a Miami number. Miami did hammer the Knicks in Miami on a -6, 110-96. This is holding at 5 open. It should be 3. It's a Miami spot, a Miami number. You know, honestly, a lot of new followers in the chat, some sharp, some public. We don't cap the market. We cap our own analytics. Sometimes we'll be on a public side, and we have no shame, and sometimes we'll be on the most contrarian side of the board. It's why we win at the rate we do. This would be a public side for me. I think Miami probably gets there on this one.
Yeah, I'm with you. Yeah, I think the Heat, that's the problem, Shark. The Heat are public side, right? It looks too easy. The problem is these shit's been cashing, man. You just take the better team. You take the team that's been playing a lot better lately, and you fading the Knicks also, it makes some money right here. Knicks 1-6 against the spread last 7 as the underdog, 1-7 against the spread last 8 overall, period. So they're 1-9. they're a total mess right now, man. It's the only way I can look is the Heat here, 7-2 against spread last 9 meetings versus the Knicks, and 8-1 straight up. So they pretty much owned this matchup, even last year with better Knicks team. I'm not looking to bet this team right now. Like I say, the Heat, they are coming off the break, have a game tomorrow, but it's the only way I can look is laying the points. I must say I hadn't bet it. It's probably one of the most public spots of the day. I hate being on those games, but I do agree that the Heat would be the side here. I'm not looking to take the Knicks. It's simple. So up here to the streets of Minnesota here, Shark. Obviously, they had a good game last night. The big story in this one is now the Wolves coming off a big game last night. Now you have a back-to-back. Didn't have to travel, though, but you have James Harden, first game with the Sixers. Will it be the James Harden affect them negatively, or will he bring some energy over there and these guys get hyped up and want to get some revenge, right? Because they did lose 121-120 earlier in Philadelphia. So you think they get some revenge here? The line is on the Sixers here.
Yeah, I don't know. This is incredibly difficult. I think obviously when you insert any new player into the lineup, it's really hard to cap, as we've said numerous games on this board already. But James Harden is the ultimate enigma. I mean, the guy is both off court and on court, just a very unique personality and player type. He's going to improve this team immensely. I just don't know if it's going to come in night 1, night 2, 3, or 4. I'd say give them a week or two to get into the flow. Of course, they are right in the thick of the playoff race. They can afford to lose a couple games here as he integrates. Obviously, Joel Embiid has been just taking the workload on his back. His numbers this year are just absolutely absurd. I mean, as you mentioned numerous times, MVP campaign fully engaged here. But now you get Harden in there. Harden, obviously, high usage rate. He's going to have the ball in his hands a lot. They're not used to his general flow of offense. It's going to be tough to cap. Minnesota here on a back-to-back, of course, last night. We took the L there. Totally different conversation. That was really a coin flip game that they just got there in some statistical dispersion points. But they've been poor situationally on back-to-backs. I don't know if this is going to be one of them. This is obviously a home back-to-back off a week of rest. I think you're going to get a good effort here from Minnesota tonight. I think this could go either way.
Yeah, they are 3-6 against the spread this year on back-to-backs here. So this is a tough back-to-back, and the Timberwolves do play a lot better at the house. So it's a tough game for me. The only way I could look is the Sixers, though, in this one, especially with revenge. And I don't think they have a lot of time here. I think that they're going to try to move up as much as they can over there in the Eastern Conference, because why? You don't want to get one of these tough 7-8 spots over or 5-6 middle of the road first series over there. So I think they will try to go balls to the wall. And like I said, I think they needed a point guard over there. So you guys know I can't stand Harden. I hate the guy, but I do think that he will bring some positive energy to the team. Obviously, with them having revenge as well. Last time Joel Embiid went off for 42, the Timberwolves still got the win, but that was mostly because Anthony Edwards and Russell went off in that game. So obviously, they still don't really have an answer for Joel Embiid. If Harden gets cooking here tonight, guys like Tobias Harris, if they drive right to the hole, the Sixers could get this job done. They're a road warriors, guys. They're 7-2 against the spread last 9 road games. Obviously, they have the rest advantage as well with the revenge spot. It's the only way I could look is the 76ers in this game, my guys. Let's go over here to the streets of Utah, Sharp. We got the Jazz laying 5.5 versus the Mavs. It's a tough spot for me because I'd like to say I lean the Mavs. I'm going to the game. They played March 7th here in Dallas, so I hope my Mavs lose this game. But I think, simply put, Shark, I think they're looking ahead to the Warriors game. I'll take the Mavs in the next game versus the Warriors. I do think that the Jazz could possibly get there today at the house as well. Shark, what you think?
Yeah, I agree 100%. I hadn't even considered the look ahead of the Warriors. Of course, they did just get shelled by the Warriors by 30 plus.
Exactly.
But I do think this is interesting. Of course, Utah does come in here off a really lackluster loss to close the first half against the Lakers. That should be ripe in their mind to bounce back. And we talked about this numerous times. Utah had clustered a ton of losses. I believe they lost like 10 out of 11 or something at one point, and they've started to show that sign. The only other matchup this year was actually Christmas night. And Utah laid, I believe, 13.5 points, a huge number. Luka Doncic did not play. It was Porzingis. Exactly. Obviously, he has moved on to greener pastures or not. Washington tonight, please do not.
He has yet to play a game.
Yeah. He's hanging out. DC's a cool place, apparently. I don't know. But that being said, we said this about the Warriors last night against Portland. The Warriors did not cover the super inflated 14 at home, and then it shortened up. And they blew them out by 35. I think you're seeing a similar environment here where Utah was just in a funky environment on Christmas night against a lackluster opponent without Luka. They come in here at a short number, readjusted number. I think this is definitely a Utah spot tonight.
Yeah, I was going to ask you about that too, about the number. It was 13.5, and then
Yeah.
it's come down to 6.5 this time, and coming down even more. So don't get it twisted, guys. The Mavs can match up with these guys, but I hope you understand this. Luka, he somewhat likes to party. I don't necessarily know if we'll get full effort from these guys. Like, is Luka if he's having a bad game or is like out of shape for this first game or need to shake off the rust, we won't be in good sorts, right? So I love the Mavs, but this is a tricky spot, guys. And I'll be honest, I can see them getting smacked up looking ahead to that Warriors game. Then we go in there and smack them motherfuckers up, man. So, Ronald says, hey, can I put someone in timeout for fun, man? Nah, no timeout today. No, we just trying to, it's all business, man. We going over here to the streets of Phoenix, Shark. And I said it yesterday. When I say something the day before, I'm a man of my word. I'm on the Pelicans today. If you listened yesterday, you should have got plus 7.5, but I don't think it's going to matter. It's either this is going to be a close game or they're going to lose by double digits or possibly win here. I do think that the Suns in a short term, without them being super used to playing without Chris Paul, may be a slight fade here. So, like I say, with them land points, with the back-to-back, you could argue that the Pelicans could be rusty, but they've also been scrimmaging the last couple of days. Had CJ McCollum and the boys getting a little bit more comfortable with each other. I'm taking the Pelicans here plus the points. I'll go official plus 6.5, guys. Like the Pelicano fly. We pushing P tonight, Shark. What do you think? Can the Suns smack them up? So Pelicans with double revenge here, not lying all over the Pellies.
Yeah, no, I mean, this one, again, for me, is just a little bit adjustment. You know, we saw, obviously, last night the Suns did hammer the Thunder. And I said this last night.
They didn't. I'm sorry, Shark. They didn't hammer the Thunder. I watched that game. They got there later. That was a 7-8 point game all the way down to about 3 minutes ago. The final score was not indicative of that game, my brother.
Okay, just purely based on the result. You know, I said on the record yesterday, they're either going to lose or they're going to beat them by a figure, and they did. And, of course, that game was kind of funky. They came out in the first quarter and hammered them, and then gave it right back in the second quarter, and then it was tight, of course, the backdoor. But that being said, you come back here, as you said, the Pelicans in a double revenge game, 112 to 100 early season minus 10, and then another tight one there. This is a short number. I wouldn't talk you off this at all. I think the Pelicans a sharp look. Phoenix in a back-to-back, obviously small window back-to-back here. Pelicans should travel there well, though.
Yeah, and like I say, guys, I'll be honest, nothing's guaranteed, but I just couldn't let you go because I'm glad that it ballooned to 20 points because that is not how the game went. Thunder missed a ton of shots down the stretch there. Obviously, I mean, they can get smacked up by the Suns, but I'm watching that game through and through, as I said I would. That game was close all throughout, and Mikal Bridges kind of got a little left ankle injury or foot injury as well. So also something I noticed, I'm talking about in the last minute of the game, he could barely put weight on it. So I see people taking his prop today, not saying that he can't go off, but I do think he's a little bit hobbled today. Aaron Holiday as well. So I did think Campaign was going to come back. He's still out. Aaron Holiday, one of their pseudo point guards other than Elfrid Payton, he's out for this game as well. They're only down to one point guard, and that's Elfrid Payton. Guys, I'm watching the Suns last night. They had guys that should not be handling the ball, guys like Jay Crowder making bad passes out of here. So somebody wants to get put in timeout, obviously, in the chat trying to troll us, but it's all good. But I like the Pelicans tonight plus the points. I won't be a bit surprised to see them win the game, guys. Give me the Pelicans here plus the points with the Suns on the back-to-back as well. And they're also only 4-5 against the spread this year on the back-to-back. They also have the Jazz on deck. Pelicans 6-0 against the spread last 6 road games, 4-0 last 4 as a road dog. This is their spot with Willie Green going back to Phoenix as well, trying to get some double revenge. Give me the Pellies tonight. If you don't like the play, guys, don't take it. If you think the Pelicans are trash, if you like the Suns, don't just blindly tell someone to get mad when some shit loses, guys. So I don't think I'm about to lose. Pelicans plus 6.5 official top play. Last game up, Shark. Lakers versus Clippers. You like something?
I do not. We talk about this all the time. Clippers very unpredictable. Lakers also very unpredictable. 2 matchups this year. You do get a double revenge game for the Lakers, but the home favorite, of course, they play in the same arena, is 0-2 ATS. Lakers early season 119-115 loss as a 3.5 favorite. Then it came back to the Clippers -3, 111-110 Clippers non-cover. We did suggest on that particular afternoon that the Lakers would cover that. It seems like within this matchup, the favorite in the home locker room in crypto.com does not cover. Of course, Anthony Davis not in there. LeBron, will he turn up? Will he not? Clippers just unpredictable. I talk about this all the time. Very, very dependent on their highly volatile three-point shooting. This team is a bunch of shooters, like 1 through 12. They're all shooters. And they're going to come out and they'll get hot 65% for a half. They'll score 75 points. Then they'll fall asleep in the second half, back and forth. This is a gamble spot, ESPN National. Grab a beer, enjoy your life. this is definitely a no play for me.
This the ESPN game? Is this the late night ESPN game? Yeah, I see Lakers getting this spot, guys. It's simple. No one likes this play. I hadn't betted yet, but we'll see how this first game goes. No, everyone that I see is on the Clippers. They think it's going to be easy. And don't get it twisted. These easy plays have been cash. I know the public's licking their chops here, but just think everybody's on the Clippers here. Obviously, the line went up from 1.5 to 3. They lost disclaimer, Anthony Davis did have 30 points and 17 rebounds, but they lost the game on the buzzer beater after they had come all the way back. They've lost 5 straight to the Clippers. The Lakers are a really old team, right, Shark? What happens then? Now they could be refreshed coming in off having 7 days off. An older team could look refreshed in a spot like this, and then 5-6 games on, then these guys could, you know what I'm saying, start to run out of gas in the second half like they always do. But this first game back, I wouldn't be surprised to see the Lakers put everything to get this win over their crosstown rival, right? So heavy lean to the Lakers for me here, Shark. As always, guys, go check out wagertalk.com. You can use promo code J19, get a package of plays, 3 days, full access for $19. Shark, let's get to some free picks. What we liking today? Break them off with your officials on this not so casual, suddenly not so casual Friday.
Oh, it is. It's a beautiful one at that. Friday, 5:23 p.m. Eastern. Hope everybody's having a great Friday, great week. The work week is over. Enjoy your life. As we always say, a lot of new followers, keep your bankroll intact. Right. Bet professionally to get professional results. If you're throwing half your bankroll on one play that is unprofessional, you will get unprofessional results, and your mind will become chaotic. We don't want any of that. So stay the course. 365 with us. It's full lifestyle shit. Top 2 plays, Spurs first quarter, -1, game -3.5. Numbers and narratives all over the play. Top look for me. Jay Money, a pleasure. Close them out and let's go.
It's always a pleasure. Shark, if you don't mind, one thing. I remember you told me you just got a new Pelicans hat. Did it come in already?
Not yet.
Oh, fuck. I was going to say, man, I'd like to see it. I want to see it. You didn't even have to put it on, man. Eric Jones in the chat saying liking Rockets money line plus 145. I wouldn't be surprised. I think that game should be a pick 'em. So your value, I'm not a big value guy because value doesn't matter unless you win. But I do think that money line is too high. That should be a pick 'em type of game. They shouldn't be giving the Rockets 4 or plus 145 on the money line. So just for what it's worth, I'm not betting the game. I wouldn't be surprised if anything happened. Dave, no, you're not reaching. You're not reaching. Let's go, man. My top spot of the day, Pelicans, plus 6.5 in college basketball. Shark, taking Penn State -1.5. Shark, if you look at this line, they got 8 points in Northwestern earlier this year. Now they're laying 1.5 at the house. What are we doing?
That's a fantastic line, Gab. Fantastic. And second point on that, I'm not from Happy Valley. I'm not a football fan in the Big Ten. However, I know one thing about Big Ten basketball. Bet Penn State at home.
At home. 8-0 against the spread.
January, Penn State at home is an absolute sustainable year-to-year juggernaut.
Yeah, it's senior night as well, guys. So that's what I'm on. I'm pushing P tonight, man. Double P's. Pelicans plus 6.5. Penn State -1.5. Let's go to. We're going 2-0 one time for the one time. Riding the Spurs as well, my guy Shark, man. We're going 3-0. Let's get some cash, guys. Go follow my guy on Twitter at Sharks and Sports. You can follow me as well at J Money is Money. Let's get some cash, guys. We out. Back tomorrow.